Good Friday Reflections, the Agony of Gethsemane, a call to intimacy and suffering. In the Garden of Gethsemane, we witness the depth of Jesus' human experience, his agony, isolation, and the ultimate surrender to the Father's will. This moment invites us into an intimate encounter with Jesus, urging us to bring our own fears, anxieties, and wills before God. It teaches us that in our most profound struggles, we are not alone. Jesus walks with us, understanding our pain intimately. Let us find solace in his presence and the strength to say, "Not my will, but yours be done." The betrayal and rest, the wounds of love, the betrayal by Judas, one of his own, highlights the vulnerability of love. It reminds us that Jesus' path to the cross was marked by rejection, a pain that many of us know too well. Yet, his response to betrayal, a path of forgiveness and continued love, challenges us to love even when it's hard, to forgive even when we are hurt. How can we embody this radical love in our relationships, especially when faced with betrayal? Before Pilate, the courage to stand for truth. Jesus' silence before Pilate speaks volumes about the power of truth. In a world where truth is often manipulated, Jesus embodies integrity and steadfastness. His example urges us to stand for truth, even when it costs us. Reflect on areas of your life where you're called to bear witness to truth. Ask for the courage to live authentically, rooted in the values of the gospel. The crucifixion, love's ultimate sacrifice. At the cross, we see the culmination of Jesus' mission, the ultimate sacrifice of love. In his suffering and death, Jesus reveals the depth of God's love for us, a love that endures the worst to bring out the best. As we stand at the foot of the cross, let us contemplate what it means to lay down our lives in love for others. How are we called to make sacrifices for the good of our families, communities, and the world? It is finished, the completion of a divine promise. Jesus' last words, "It is finished," signify the completion of his mission of salvation. This statement is not one of defeat but of victory and fulfillment. It invites us to reflect on the promises of God in our lives. Are there areas where we struggle to trust in God's faithfulness? The burial, waiting in hope. The burial of Jesus marks a period of waiting, a time when hope seems lost. Yet, as Christians, we know the story doesn't end here. This waiting period teaches us patience and trust in God's timing. In moments of uncertainty and waiting in our lives, let us hold fast to hope, believing in the resurrection power of God that brings new life out of death. Good Friday is a day of paradoxes, of suffering and love, of death and life, of despair and hope. Let these reflections guide you into a deeper engagement with the passion of Christ, that you may emerge with a renewed sense of purpose and a heart more closely aligned with Jesus' own heart of love and sacrifice.